All right, guys. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Wait-T Lightheart here for another No BS rant. I am excited, delighted that you are here to join me for this live event. We're broadcasting on Zoom and on Facebook Live. Welcome, everyone from around the world. Really appreciate you joining us this evening. We got a couple big topics that we're going to talk about today. It's a beautiful day in Vancouver, British Columbia. Here at the Tower of Power, I'm looking out across English Bay. It's absolutely fantastic. I hope you can enjoy the sunshine in the summer, and I appreciate you joining me on this late night for those on the East Coast and early evening on the West Coast. We're going to talk about something that's really important tonight. That is mission or money. Mission and money. Mission and or money. What is it? Where's the balance in your life? Where's the balance in our life? How does this work out for everybody? It's really important to kind of distinguish this. I'm going to share some personal experiences. I'm also going to allow you to think about a few things in your own life that might affect this, because believe me, at some point in your business career, in your personal life, in your relationships, even in your health and your spirituality, you are going to have to come to grips with this conversation. Is it about the mission? Is it about the money? Is it both? And I would say that it is. Where's the balance? So if you're watching this, I would encourage you to take on one left-hand corner, you write down, if you're taking notes, to get out a piece of paper or put it on your phone, put on your corner, and that is, put on the corner that you've got mission on the left-hand side, money on the other side. So one of the things that you're going to put down on the mission, you're going to put why, you're going to put who, and you're going to put what. So on the left-hand side, put mission, why, who, what. On the right-hand side, you're going to need to put capital, you're going to put where, and you're going to put when on that side of the column. So we got mission on the left side, we got right side on the other. Now in the middle, you got to put the how is in the middle. How do you find the balance between the mission and the money? How do you find the balance between the who, the what, the why, the where, the when, and the how? It's not an easy question. This is not an easy webinar. This is not an easy discussion, but it's something that everybody has to come in to grips with and to deal with if they're going to be successful in the online world, if they're going to be successful in any business that you want to go for. Because if you're not dealing with this question, you're going to run into problems. And let me talk about some of the things. So I will give you, in one of my companies that I run, which I have been on a mission. So I've been on a mission for health. I've been on a mission to learn about and to teach and to advocate health technologies. I've built a number of companies around that topic. Actually, almost all of my companies have been related to the mission to help people experience a better level of health. That's clearly defined in my life. It's in my business. It's part of the vision that I put forward in my things. And so it's easy for me to do this. I was doing this when there was no money in it. I was on mission from the time I was 15 years old, when my sister was diagnosed with cancer, and I realized that health isn't a guarantee, life isn't a guarantee, and most people, and the model that I was given, which is the medical model, and not being negative, is only for acute care. It's not for prevention. It's not for experiencing excellent health. It's about keeping you alive as long as possible until your expiry punches up. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I didn't know any of that stuff. And so I went on a mission at 15 years old to discover the principles of health and vitality and performance. And I've been on that mission for the last 30 plus years. Okay. So over 30 years, I've been on that mission. I would do this mission if there was no money in it. And I have a lot of evidence to demonstrate that I did do it without any money. And my nutrition company, I think my business partner, we paid ourselves in supplements for 10 years. I used to help people for nothing for years and years, and still do sometimes. I still, I'm always giving out tips and tricks and things like that. I freely give out as much of my services and time as time permits. Happy to do that. Happy to advocate for those things. And that's the mission. Why do I do that? Well, because health and vitality is important to me. Living long and living strong is important to me. And I love the benefits that I get from helping other people. Now, it just so turns out that I stuck out with it long enough and I found enough things that I was able to make a great income with it. That income started to happen in 1998 when I moved to Vancouver. I opened up my personal training business. I opened up a supplement shop, a physical nutritional supplement shop, and which was the foundation of the key relationships that I have in my life today. It was a way that I could support myself because I'd be an advocate of health and performance and vitality and all that sort of stuff. And then eventually that led to a company with Bioptimizers, a nutritional supplement company, started selling education that eventually morphed into Bioptimizers today. It was a bodybuilding site originally, Massimes Inc. It was Freaky Big Naturally, actually. And I'm get to why this is. And then that developed into Bioptimizers, which is a company that fixes digestion. Along the way, I got into a direct response marketing. I also got into direct sales industry. That's my work in the water ionizer business, which is great. And I love it. And I love the people in it. I love the people that work for me. I love the people that work with me. I love the people who are in this industry. I love everything about it. It's fun. I will do this for the rest of my life because that's my mission. Now, that being said, so that's my why, right? And the who in my mission has changed. This is the left-hand side. Remember, we got mission, why, who, want. The who changed over time. Who I was serving, who was my customer, who was helping me reach that goal, whether it was a nutrition company or my supplement shop that I started out in when I was, hiring my first employee. I was serving, protein shakes and things like that at a little juice bar in Kitsilano. And so my customers started to change, and when I was dealing with customers, it was people who wanted to get in shape, wanted to get fit, wanted to get healthy, wanted to figure out their life on a health standpoint. And I got into that. And then eventually in 2004, that went into the online format when I had my business partner who was making money online, who was also a personal trainer. We shared some values. He said we could make money online, and I leveraged into that. And so since 1998, thanks to that mission, I've been able to survive. There were tough times. There were times when I made a lot of money. There was a time when I was broke. There was all kinds of times in between. And I wouldn't change any of it for the world. Could I have done it better? Yes. Could I have made more money? Probably. Could I have done worse? For sure. So I'm somewhere in the between. I'm happy with that. And I'm staying on that mission. And virtually everything I'm involved in serves that to some level. Now, money. Now, up until 1998, I was on mission and made no money. So I hadn't found a way to tie money into this. And I'm telling you this because all of you are going to go through this in your business. All of you are going to experience the mission and money, those 2 points kind of colliding together at some point in your world. It's just going to happen. And you are going to question the mission, or you're going to question the money. Particularly, those questions are going to come up in two scenarios. One, when you're making no money, when you're on your point, and you're trying to make this as something that supports your life. That's going to bring a lot of questions. Or if you're making a lot of money. If you're making a lot of money, then oftentimes it's easy to lose sight of the mission. Okay? Or the mission changes, or the mission expands, or the mission involves other people, because the more money you make. See, there's another thing. Unless you've made between $100,000 to $150,000 for a consistent period of time, and I would say 2-3 years, you're the automatically, what I'd say, the subconscious programming that's pervasive in most of society is that if you have more money, it will solve your problems. And I think that's true up to $100,000 to $150,000. I think if you're not at that level, there are a lot of things that problems or challenges that money can solve. After that amount, what happens is you just have more stuff going on. You have more business, you have more operations, you have more people, you have more stress, you have more opportunities. It requires a completely different level of thinking, and oftentimes people will end up questioning the mission. Do I really want to work this hard? Is this what it's all about? Do I want to expand that? How do I manage people? How do I hire people? How do I organize all this stuff? Do I need to go into different mediums? All that stuff comes up. So you always need to check back with your mission. And we have a system, you can get it online. It's called Traction, 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 which it shows how to bring your vision in and organize that vision into definable processes that you can move forward. And then there's a process for reevaluating on a 10-year or 3-year or 1 year and a 90-day level. What's your values? What's your vision? How you're going to organize it? Who are you going to bring in? Who do you serve? All that. And I think it's a great process. On another level, there's a guy out there by the name of Brendan Burchard. He runs Experts Academy. He goes into this extremely deep. There's a variety of programs, and I've used all of those programs. There's T. Harv Eker is another guy that I got into earlier, not as deep. But I think in some of his advanced courses you get into that. There's people out there that will help you define that. Tony Robbins has a business mastery program that helps you get clear on those things. A lot of business coaches. I think that most people would benefit from having a business coach, someone who's been there, done that, has got some experience and can help you answer questions that you never thought of, that will allow you to direct your mission and learn how to make your money. Now, that's the mission side of it. Now I want to talk about the money side of it. All right. You cannot stay on a mission without money, or the mission will not have its full impact or serve you and your family if you don't have a clear and definitive process of how the money comes in. Because as the money comes in, it also helps spread the message. And you should always be spending a portion of the money that you are bringing into the business into pushing the message forward to more and more people. Whether that is putting gas in your car to drive out to meetings, whether that is purchasing advertising campaigns, going to events, networking groups, mastermind, you have got to be actively spending time, energy, and money in getting new customers. And you need to be spending in a way that's bringing more money in so that you can actually continue to do the spending. Now, when you start out on your mission to bring these things forward, oftentimes you are taking money from maybe a non-mission oriented project. In other words, you've got money or you've got time or you've got resources over here, and you're going to put it on because you want to have a mission life. And let me tell you this, there's nothing better than being on a mission. I think that everybody needs a mission to find purpose in life, because life is a lot of suffering. Life can be challenging. Life can be painful. But if you have a great mission, you can find meaning in the suffering or in the pain. And from that meaning, you can derive happiness despite the uncomfortableness of growing and learning and evolving and spreading that message. Okay? Like all the nuances of that you can overcome because the mission is strong enough. If you are just going for pure money without a mission, eventually you'll get knocked out of the game by someone who's on mission and is managing the money, or you will become successful and you will end up empty inside. You'll feel terrible. You'll feel, what's the meaning of life? And if you don't believe that, believe me, I've coached hundreds of people who are at the pinnacle of success, where they had really solved the money issue literally for the rest of their lives, and they were depressed because they weren't on their mission. They hadn't defined their mission. They'd lost track of their mission. They didn't know what was going on in their life, and they fell into the trap of thinking that money was going to solve all their problems. And it doesn't. It solves the problems of not having money, but after 150 grand, the research is all in. Daniel Kahneman's research at Oxford University, I think it was, said that the incremental levels of happiness relative to money is negligible after 150,000. He said 75 to 150,000. I'm just going to say 150. We'll just cover it across the board. At that point, you got to find other reasons. Other things are going to make you happy. Other things are going to make you joyful. Other things are going to fulfill you in life. And the more money you make, if you are divorced or not on to your mission, you're going to end up into substance abuse. You're going to get into dysfunctional behaviors, or you're going to end up depressed or sick or something. Some sort of dysfunction, some sort of feedback from the universe is going to tell you that you're off point, because everything in the universe has some sort of purpose. It evolves, it adapts, it lives. This is a universally applicable system in all of society. There is a form and function, even if we don't understand it, to everything. Everything exists, is valuable by its own nature. If you don't believe that, you're kind of nihilistic. It's very depressing, and that leads to a dark place. Some people go there. I don't advocate it. It's a tough place to get out of. So you don't want to be that way. And that's why finding meaning. Now, setting up money. So in order to get started with your endeavor, you've got to put capital resources towards it. This is what capitalism essentially is that you are devoting money, not necessarily for your own personal gain, but you are investing it in a system, in products, in a methodology, or in developing a skill set so that you can go out and do your mission or support your life. And so you need to understand money. You need to be able to raise money, to save money, and to direct that capital into a way that is going to allow you to, support yourself, support your family, and move forward. Now, typically, there's two challenges with being on your mission. So when I started my mission, I was a teenager. I didn't know anything, and I was broke. I had no dependents. I was living at my parents' house, being supported by them, so I was in a good situation. So I went on my mission, and I went forward with that mission, and I didn't make any money with it. So let me see, I was 15, so that was 1987. I didn't make any money on that for 11 years. 11 years. I didn't have to make money. I did jobs, all kinds of jobs. I fought in bars as a doorman. I was a bartender. I cut down trees. I planted trees. I worked in labor, manual labor. I was an outfitter. I was a landscaper. I worked in a distribution warehouse. I did a lot. I worked in retail stores. I worked in gyms, all these other jobs. Some of them kind of were supporting a mission, but most of them were just to make enough money to survive. So when you start out, it's easy to be on your mission. But the more responsibilities you get a wife, or you get a husband, or you get kids involved in the mission, the more that you need money to support yourself. Or if you're on your own, right, you need to be able to derive money from that. And so first off, I would say you need to find a way, if you're just starting out or you're just getting going, you need to be able to make enough money that you can do your mission until your mission will support you. Okay? You need to have enough money. Okay? You need to get enough money so that you can do your mission part-time until your mission is making you enough money to get rid of your full-time job. Now, if you're smart and you're young, I would encourage to get involved in the industry on whatever level that you're most passionate about. learn from mentors, work for companies in that industry, hang around those people and learn those things. That's what happened to me. It took me 10 years of kicking the tires, 11 years of kicking the tires before I was able to make money. And there was still a struggle for those first few years of going from an employee to an entrepreneur. It wasn't easy. And I see a lot of people fail on that. It's not a knock on employees. Just like I see a lot of people in business, once they've been in business for so long, they can never be an employee. Even if their business goes bankrupt or all this, they can't go back. So it's a different mindset. It's a different skill set. And there's different levels of certainty and uncertainty involved in that. So where are you going to get the capital to fund your mission? Should you go all in on your mission? Well, that's a determination that you're going to have to make for yourself based on your own circumstances. I do not think if you have a family to take care of, a relationship partner, that going all in on something like leaving your job, leaving a job to go all in on your mission is generally the right thing to do. I think for the most part, the people that I've seen do that, it creates relationship issues, it creates distress emotionally in their friendships, and it's financially devastating because most businesses take way more effort than you think. It's going to take a lot more than you think to be successful. Everybody, you read the webinar, you do the following, you learn the techniques from the master who kind of gives you the 411 in an hour, or you take the course for a month or whatever. But the reality is when you actually get boots on the ground, in the grind, in the pit, in the belly of the beast, it's going to take you a while. That's why most businesses aren't financially successful for 5 years. About 95 or 96% drop off by that time. Not great odds. So you need to apply that, because that determines the when. Remember, on the right-hand side, we have the capital. Where's the capital coming from? And when are we going to deploy this? For the most part, I believe that people, if you're got a family, you want to be gearing your life so you can support yourself, but you're generating time and resources to the mission. And that's going to be a slower process, but it's going to be a more stable process, a safer process, and it's going to have less side effects. If you're young and you don't have those responsibilities of a family and all that stuff, I would lean towards going all in on your mission. Stay on your mission, make it your mission, pay the price. It doesn't matter if you're living on a cot and you're eating craft dinner every night. It's okay. That's part of the romantic part of entrepreneurship. I think there's a lot of good lessons in there. I think there's frugality in it. I think there's passion in it. I think you got a lot of energy. I really love young people who are embracing their mission. I think it's great. Now, in the mission, you got to have the why, the who, the what. So your why is, why are you doing it? Because that will push you through the lean times. That will allow you to eat craft dinner and work 14 hours a day if you need to. The who are you listening to? Who are you associating with? Because who you associate with both professionally and personally are going to determine. Anybody who's questioning you on your mission, who is challenging you on that, or who is not on a mission of their own is going to be what I would call dangerous for your mission. Your friends, your family, your associates, you are the net of those 5 people, their beliefs, their incomes, and the way they see the world. You need to get outside. If you're going to be successful in business, you're going to be on a great mission and it's going to profit from you. You need to be around positive people, proactive people. You need to be around people who are on mission, who understand that, who resonate, who you can draw strength and energy from as a social being. And you're probably going to have to be around people who are not on a mission a little bit less. Now, what? What are you going to do? What is your mission? Well, if you decide why you're having your mission, what is your mission, and then how are you going to do this? So how is the word that is in between the two. You got mission on the left, money on the side. You got how in the middle. So what is the how? Well, what is the how? This is a very, very challenging thing in business because your first, I would say, 1 to 5 years is about you figuring out how you are going to make money on a consistent basis as an entrepreneur, hopefully supporting your mission in the world. 1 to 5 years. You may get lucky and hit it in the first few months. You may slug along for 5 years. But I don't know too many people who go at least, who don't struggle on some level for 5 years. It's just the way it is. Okay? I didn't make the rules. Part of it is because they don't know what to do or the how of it. Part of it is because I think this is a bigger part, is there's a hangover of their belief systems, their organization systems, their operational systems, and their daily method of operation on a given day. You know, when you're working for a company or in an operation, what do? They give you a handbook, they teach you the position of the job, they tell you your responsibilities, they train you up on it, and you go out and do it, and those parameters are clear. When you're in the business of making money as an entrepreneur, you have to figure those things out. You have to set your timetable. You have to prioritize what you're going to do. You have to determine where you're going to spend your money. You have to determine where you're going to spend your effort and energy. And there's a big how. And that's why I believe that you need to have a mentor. You need to have a coach. You need to have some direction. You need to be around people who are doing it that you can learn from. Because if you have that, you have a far greater idea of success, a chance of success. I'll share you a personal story, okay? So in 1998, I hired my personal training coach, Scott Abel. Scott Abel is one of the greatest minds in the bodybuilding industry, and he directed a business. He trained over 400 bodybuilding champions. And I went to his house in 1998. And he had this beautiful condo in Mississauga, had security, had never seen that before. Had a great space. He was making good money. He had the perfect. He had everything. And I remember coming out of there, and I was going to him for bodybuilding coaching. But when I walked out of that place, I remember thinking, I can do this. Scott has showed me how I can make money because he's doing this. I saw his coaching program. I saw the results that was made. I'd been coaching with him for a year. I met him in person. I saw this lifestyle. I saw that. I wanted to be a coach. I wanted to be a personal trainer. I wanted to help people and learning what I had learned. And I saw the pathway of how to do that. I started that literally about less than 12, it was 8 to 12 months later. I opened up my personal training clinic in Vancouver, Canada. And I also got a distribution arrangement also from the 98 Nationals to distribute products. Now, that was a huge thing for me. So I started that program and I built a business, and it was a struggle at first. I went through a relationship breakup. I worked a lot of hours. That was part of the reason for the breakup. And I had a business partner in the juice bar, which went sideways about 6 months in. But I did make it. I struggled it out. I built the relationships. It was a struggle for about the first year. The second year in 2000, I hit the success, and I became pretty successful. And then I had the challenges of success. That's another challenge that you get to. It's not really for this post call, but I figured that out because I had a vision, I had a clear, and I had a messaging around it. 2004 came around, and another fellow trainer told me about the online business. I didn't even own a computer at that time. Think about that. He said he could make money online. We partnered up after a little bit of debate about whether he was making money online or whether I had a computer. And here was the thing. He had been making money online, and so he was following people who knew what was going on, and he started doing what they were doing, and we started out of the gate. I didn't know how to build an online business, but I did know how to write, and I did know how to create content, and I could leverage my experience in the industry that I'd built up over 15 years as a coach, as an athlete, and learning the inside out. And I had deep insight, and we leveraged that insight, and he brought that message out, and we built a wildly successful business. that's still running today, is now known as Bioptimizers. Great experience. Lots of challenges in that. I won't talk about that. Something we had all kinds of ups and downs through that process. But there I knew the how, and we started that business. Now we're in another growth stage, and we got other challenges about these things, and it's fun. It's a different challenge. Business is always a new challenge. It never stops. Inside of that process, I had to develop. Here's something I had to develop. I had to develop skills. You are paid directly in proportion to the level of skill that you have and how rare that skill is. And I will list this. The number one highest paying skill in the world is sales. The number one highest paying skill in the world is sales. Selling your ideas to the public, selling somebody ideas to the product, selling products, like the art of what I would call ethical persuasion to help people purchase a product that they know, that they want, that can assist them in their life and offers as equal or more value than the money that they're spending. That's a great skill. Entrepreneurship is organizing a system that allows customers to get into the sales process. In other words, it helps you. Entrepreneurship is directing a business system that allows more sales to happen, either whether that's driving automated sales, whether it's direct consultation sales, but inside of that, it's neat. So as the first skill that you need to develop as an entrepreneur is salesmanship. Take some courses, learn how to sell, learn how to communicate in a way, learn how to handle objections. Because if you're in business, if you're on a mission, you are going to face rejection a lot. You're going to get rejected more times than you are going to be accepted. And that is something that we all have to overcome. And it's why a lot of people hate sales, because they don't like getting rejected. But if you get a good sales training program, you will redefine what rejection is. And that's important. Now, as an entrepreneur, you need a different set of skills. You need marketing skills. You need accounting skills. You need organizational skills. You need those things. Okay? Now, if you don't have it, you can hire them out if you're a good enough salesperson. I would fall under that category. So in my businesses, I sell the idea about my business. I sell the idea about what I'm doing, and I sell the idea to the people who are going to work for me or work with me so that they join and bring their skill set to particular areas. So sales have been allowed me to build businesses from that standpoint. My other business partner, he's not only, he's got sales skills, but he's got real deep entrepreneurial skills. These skills allowed him to build systems. And then there's, as the business grows, there's all these other components that come up: taxes, accounting, infrastructure, legal, all sorts of stuff starts to come. So as you grow your business as an entrepreneur, you start developing and you're continually having to learn. Because if you're making $30,000 a year and you want to make 60, you got to up your skills. You got to up your game. If you're at 60 and you want to make 150, you got to up your skills. If you want to make $1 million a year, you have got to up your skill set proportionate to the amount of money you want to make. And sales will do a lot of that. Sales skills. You can make $1 million a year just as a salesman alone if you are aligned in the right company, if you have somebody that's taking care of all of the other stuff. I know salespeople that are making $1 million. You can certainly make $150,000 as a sale. A good salesperson, that's the zone you're going to get in, and you can get there probably within 12 to 24 months if you develop a good sales program. If you know nothing about sales and hate sales. As an entrepreneur and you want to make $1 million, no. There are sales jobs that will allow you to do that, but chances are you are going to run into other problems. I know lots of great salespeople that can make $1 million for a short period of time, and they blow up. They blow up their relationships. They blow up their lifestyle. They blow up their bank accounts. They blow up They go bankrupt. They know this. I've been down all these roads. I've been there. I get it. And so you learn where you're good at, where you're not. That's the difference between the mission and the money. So how do you do this? Well, number one, you got to get clear about your vision. Inside your vision, you need to define what it is that you do. Who do you serve? How do you serve them? And why are you serving them? And get really, really clear on that. And if you can summarize your mission statement into 5 words, you're really going places. If you can't summarize your mission into 5 words, you need to refine it more. Just saying. Okay? Now, then you're going to determine how are you going to fund yourself in order to develop the skills that are going to allow you to go forward. Some people are going to raise money. Some people are going to borrow that money. Some people are going to take their savings. Okay? How are you going to develop the skills that are going to allow you to make $100, $500, $1 million, whatever it is? Because you are going to have to develop those skills. Where's that money going to come from? Is you going to beg, borrow? What are you going to do? Or are you going to go to savings? And when are you going to do it? If not now, when? I got lots of people that want to come out and make $100,000. If I had to ask people and say, hey, raise your hand. How many people here want to make $150,000 a year? Everybody raise their hand in the room. All right. How many people here are willing to learn the skills? Everybody raise their hand. And I said, okay, in order to learn the skills, it's going to take you $25,000. You're going to have to pay $25,000, and you're going to have to dedicate the next 10 to 20 hours a day for the next 2 years in order to do this. Are you going to do this? Are you willing to do this? And if you do this, you got a good shot at making that amount of money. Everybody goes, yeah. I'm like, okay, where's the 25,000? Then they go, oh, I don't know. Why? Why do they do that? If their mission is strong enough, they'll do it. If their desire for money, maybe that's their mission, they'll do it. But if they're not clear about either one of those things, they won't. And they'll go back to doing whatever they do. So Tony Robbins calls it raising your standards. So if your standard's at $30,000 and you want to raise it to $150,000 to make it a must, that's what you're going to do. You're going to have to build some skills. Sorry, folks. I'm not here to give you pie in the sky. I'm not here to tell you that, it's rainbows and unicorns and that maybe somebody told you were wonderful and you were great and you could do anything. And that's probably true, but you got to put in the work. You got to be able to be resilient. You got to be able to handle failure, and you got to be able to handle uncertainty if you want to make those things happen. And the easiest way to handle those things is to be super crystal clear about your mission. If your mission is emotional enough, if it's in your heart, if it's in your mind, you will attract the people. You will attract the money. You will attract the resources. You will find the customers. People will come to you. This is the whole part of the secret. The secret is about getting clear about what it is that you want, getting clear and passionate and jacked into your emotional power center to move forward and to be able to withstand whatever it is, pivot, deal with the adversity, go, learn, develop the skills, spend the time, spend the effort, put the extra hours in, put the money in, work at it, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. One of the reasons why we celebrate professional athletes is because they stay on that mission for decade after decade. They put themselves through physical pain, torture, challenges. They sacrifice their lives, their relationships, their social group, everything. And then they become a prisoner of fame once they're successful. It's not easy being a famous sports athlete. They have to live in kind of these little enclaves because of the publicity. That's why they get paid so much money. It's not as easy as I want to be a movie star or a rock star. I know these people. I hang out with these people. We don't go to restaurants together. We go to a private group where maybe some of these other people are in a special place where it's safe and they can have normal conversations. Because if they go out on the street, they're dealing with starstruckness. But they do it because they're on their mission. Okay? Now, the piece that's going to make this all come together is understanding this is a process. Understanding that the process of becoming successful is an ongoing, ever-changing, ever new, very strong, very big process. And it's going to require adjustments. It's going to require continuous investments. It's going to require a lot of things. But the bottom line is you can do it. So what I'm going to encourage you today, sit out. When you get off this call, when you get off this webinar, when you get off this broadcast, write down your mission, the thing that gives you the most connection that you can feel good about, whether you made money or not. Then determine how much money that you want to make that is going to make the lifestyle of your dreams. And then 3, decide how much time, effort, and money you are going to dedicate this for as long as it takes. For as long as it takes in order for you to be successful and to reach your vision. And work backwards from the end game, you know, whether that's millions of people, thousands of people, whether it's supporting your family, whatever that happens to be, write down that mission, get clear on that mission, get clear on where you're at, what you're currently making right now, doing what you're doing, and go out and invest the time, effort, and energy in the skills that are going to allow you to do this. And I'll tell you what, you will become successful far faster than anything else. You will be okay with spending your weekends, your evenings, your time, your extra money, and plugging in this so that you can remove the uncertainty that you will face. You will tolerate uncertainty better. You will tolerate time better because you're clear about the mission. And when you do that, the money will come. Build in those systems to manage the money. Get the right expertise. Get the accountants, the tax people. Go out. Put together a team of the areas that you're not good in. Get the advice. Pay for the advice. Get the directions. Get the program. Assemble that and go forward with full force. That's what you need to do. If you can do that, you can do anything. You will become successful no matter what. It may not look like you think it's going to be at the first. It may take you longer than you think, but at the end of the day, you're going to feel good about yourself the whole way through because you're on point. And the whole point of humanity is to be on a mission and to find that mission and to celebrate that mission. And once you find your mission in life, you'll know it, you'll feel it, and it becomes easy to do even when it's difficult. Hope you love this no BS rant. Way T Lightheart. We do this every Monday night, 6 p.m. West Coast, 9 p.m. East Coast. Lots of love. Drop a comment. We also post these up on YouTube. I'd love to hear from you. If you want to find out more about what I do, private message me. Love to hear from you. Take care. Have a great day. Lots of love.